Hello, this is Dr. Alan Simberg. Today I'm going to talk about the reason that I included the bridge as a backdrop to my videos. When you first begin in recovery, the emphasis is usually on abstaining from any alcohol use, drug use, or any behaviors that may have been causing a problem in your life. And when I'm talking about behaviors, I'm talking about behaviors like pornography and gambling. And in the very early stages of recovery, abstaining from either consumption of substances or behaviors that have caused problems in your life, that's usually the emphasis. But what I have found in my research, and again, I'm not saying it's not there, I can only say what I've found, is that there's very little written about strategies on how to handle challenges that have developed in any of your life areas while you were active in your addiction. And when I'm talking about life areas, I'm talking about family life, work, finances. To fill that gap, I have a self-published book, Back to Living, where there's some general information about addiction and also some strategies on how to manage different life areas. I also created an e-learning program which goes much more into detail about the different life areas and strategies to manage those life areas. So, in a sense, when you begin your recovery journey, you're on the road to recovery. The bridge in the backdrop of my videos is a metaphor that's supposed to represent where you are when you first start out in your recovery journey and where you're going. And my self-published book and e-learning program are intended to help you to move along in that journey with the least amount of challenges to the different life areas that may have been affected when you were active in your addiction. One of the main reasons that I self-published that book and created that program is because when you're not able to manage those life areas, you're not able to manage the challenges in those life areas, that could be the reason that relapse occurs. And then, of course, as maybe some of you already have experienced, once you have relapsed, you may feel shame, you may feel guilt, and it may take a while, different lengths of time, before you go back into recovery. By knowing that there are strategies that you can use, which I will be talking about in future videos, just to help you to begin to know that there is hope. Just because you have challenges in your recovery doesn't mean that recovery is wrong. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't stay in recovery. All it is showing you is that while you were active in your addiction, that contributed to the challenges you may be experiencing in some of those life areas. And I want you to know that even though it may be difficult in the beginning, there are strategies that you can use that can help you to manage the challenges that you may be experiencing. There are self-help groups, as you know. 12-step is one of the more well-known self-help groups. I believe in what's called a holistic approach. I'm not saying that the information that I provide to you is the only answer, or it's not the whole answer, but it is an answer if you're having challenges in your major life areas and you don't have the strategies to manage them. And another thing that's important to know is that you don't have to change everything all at once. So, for example, let's say maybe you're having challenges in more than one life area. You don't necessarily have to do something about all the different life areas. You can pick one. You could pick the one that's maybe the least challenging to start, or maybe you could pick one that's the most challenging to start. And you just manage it. You just manage the life area step by step. You just do what you can. Give yourself credit for what you're accomplishing. And also, please, please remember, never give up. I studied with a spiritual teacher, not having anything to do with organized religion. I studied with a spiritual teacher, and one of the things he taught us was that many people give up on their goals when there's only 10% left to accomplish that goal. Don't ever give up. Don't ever, ever give up. You can take a break, certainly asking for help from people that you may know that can help you, but don't ever give up. Recognize what you've accomplished so far and know that you can accomplish more. In my next video, I'm going to talk about how your thoughts can help you move along the road to recovery, and also how they can get in the way so that when you start having the thoughts that are getting in the way, you can recognize them and you can change them and continue on your recovery journey.